Perfect.
And we're
All right.
recording. Woot
There
woot.
we go.
Good job, Valerie. Good job,
Woo.
Sandy. We got it.
Thank you, Valerie. All right.
We are on. So I wanted to share with you guys. I had some revelations. Oh,
Nice.
good. Julie's back.
Yay.
Woo.
Perfect.
Anywho, I wanted to share with you guys. I've had some revelations in the past couple days, and I'm going to be doing a presentation on sovereignty tomorrow at the Bodhi Studios. And so I've been working on that, but I was also just working on trying to figure out what's kind of going on energetically, and even with me, and just some other things that and the one thing that I posted on my Facebook that actually I think is really truly an issue is, how can we be sovereign if we can't even be comfortable being ourselves? And this is in every avenue, shape, and form, right? So some of you, not all of you, but some of you might be single. And in the dating realm, being a high frequency being is challenging to say the least, right? Because I mean, one, we have morals and a lot of, I'm going to take that back. We have morals. And so it's challenging to find people who believe in the same thing, right? Especially right now, especially with all the division that's happening. And so one of the things that I was talking about with Ariana earlier this week was those who have high vibrations and are in the dating realm, or even in the realm of interacting with people, because all of us have friends and everything that we don't share everything with. And we definitely, these kind of conversations we may not have with other people. And you definitely don't share them on a first date. So
I did, and it was horrible.
yes. Yeah, it usually doesn't turn out too well, right? And so one of the things that, that we're finding is that, how do we become completely sovereign? And sovereign being owning the I am, really owning who you are, and then having that authenticity as well, when we find it challenging to be ourselves in everyday circumstances.
You need to add to that is how to give yourself permission to be okay with owning it and being yourself. Not only just how, but give yourself permission to live that life.
Yes. And that is, I mean, that's like the hugest question right now, right? Because we can say we're sovereign. I own who I am. But when I meet people in the beginning, I tell them I'm a life coach, because what am I going to say half of who I am to anybody, right? And so that becomes a very challenging thing. I did have a relationship one time where I could truly be myself. Like I could say everything. I could talk about the weirdest things. We could have the deepest conversations, and I was truly free to be me. And in that time, I remember I was open to being me to whomever I met. I didn't care what they thought. I had this one lady who wanted to baptize me in a jacuzzi because she thought that the devil was fighting for my soul. But if we think about that, right? Like all of us can relate to the fact that we have certain people we don't share who we truly are with, and so if that's the case, how do we as the collective, and how do we as the bigger population go into sovereignty, right? And how can we fix that or shift that or change that within us as the collective, but also make it so that people are comfortable or feel free to be able to be themselves? So I definitely want to have this discussion before we go into any sort of shifting.
I think that the more we are authentic, and I was joking about the whole date thing, it was actually really helpful. The more we are authentic, then the people that aren't, they simply fall away, and it's okay. And being okay with that, and letting go of the desire to please everybody and be all things to all people. No, just be who you are, so I know I've been very active in that, and just letting the chips fall where they may.
I'm sorry well, first of all, Patrick looks like grumpy uncle in the background. Thank you. But if you look at that icon that I always use of
Yeah.
Joan Judson, which is the mother, and that fake face, is because we've had to for so long lately, because of how it's been for the past 10, 20 years, put a fake face on ourselves that we're afraid to take the fake face off and be that authentic self, because we've gotten pushback, or from, you know, if you're dating, or if you're getting a new job, or if you're working with people, you know, in the cake industry, you can't tell somebody, oh, hey, you know, you need to change your light a little. You got a little negativity there, and this cake's not going to help. You know, although it's going to be great, hey, you might want to smash it on yourself and make yourself laugh a little. But it's hard to get people to lighten up and see all of us are so beautiful no matter what, because of our differences. And that's what we've got to learn, is that's why I said we've got to learn to give ourselves permission. And like you just said, Sandy, if they have a problem with it, they're going to have to fall away and deal with it themselves. If they want to be open and move more to a happiness into the light, I don't care what their religion is, all of them talk about happiness and light. And if they want to truly move to that and be accepting, they're going to have to learn to accept everything, including us being ourselves. But we need to give ourselves permission to do that more often.
Yep.
And eventually do it all the time, every day, everywhere.
I can see the wheels spinning on Paul's face. Oh, Jules has something.
So a couple of things is I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, my public and private self is one and the same. And I've worked hard to be authentically who I am, like to show up that way. And part of that is doing the work, right? Like doing the inner work, doing the inner child work, doing the shadow work, like really doing the deep dives to get at who I really am, but also understanding like I'm not done yet. There's more of me to discover. Like who I am changes in any given moment. And kind of like what you said, Sandy, like I just put it out there, like all of my dating profiles, I'm like, look, I'm a medium, I'm a like, so all this stuff, it's like this, I'm not for everybody. Like, and I even for a while had in my dating profile, not vaxxed, not gonna. Like, if you have an issue with that, I'm not your girl, right? Like all of that. And even saying, you know, like creating some healthy boundaries where I don't want to limit myself, but I'm also saying like, this is where I'm vibing at. And you're either going to be a vibrational match to me or vibe away. and I've been finding that with relationships, like romantic relationships, friendships, you know, all of that. And even with Eric, like on our, like we both had on our profile things that were like, let us both know, like this person isn't just like, has a relationship that's otherworldly. But he hasn't done as much of the like 3D relationship healing that I've done. So there's stuff coming up for him in relationship that is not healed yet. And I'm like, okay, well, so there's no guarantee either that if you do put it out there and someone is in this conversation and you can have these conversations openly, that there's still going to be a match for you. So I think the key is in the sovereignty of like, I'm a sovereign being and I'm comfortable with who I am, whether I'm in relationship or not. Because my most important relationship is with Source
and yourself.
Well, but if I'm saying like I am, right? I am, then that's one and the same.
Yeah.
And that's the relationship that there is to nurture. And then like everything else, all the other relationships can be navigated because I'm pure in that relationship.
Yep.
I don't know. So
In the
I'm just
business
kind of
world,
talking out loud.
in the business world, we always say niches make riches, right? So the more you are who you are and the more you speak your truth and find that perhaps smaller pool of people, that's where you're really going to thrive. But when you're trying to serve everybody, right, then things get watered down and you lose it.
Yeah.
Paul, do this for me. I know that there is a saying Albert Einstein said that if you continue to learn, you live. When you stop, you die. And that doesn't matter about, people would think about that with him with just learning about like subjects and stuff, but even continuing to learn yourself, learn about yourself. So what is it equivalent that you know from your side, Paul?
I'm actually, I'm not sure what exactly you're asking. What am I learning from my side of what?
Well, no, from your side, how will we put that? Because I know you can put and give, like if we have, learning the authentic self, stuff like that, you come up with what we're missing. And I know from the learning technical side, stuff like that, there's always, and that was one quote, like I know very well from Einstein, but there's also, the wisest man in the world continues to learn. The man that stops learning is not wise. So how could we find a word or something that means what we're trying to do?
Or even an emotion, right?
Or an emotion, yeah.
Let me see what I come up with here.
Because that's what it really is. If you take everything that all of us are saying, everything that all of us are saying really is, that continuous learning and light of ourselves, of life, of what's around us, of earth, of space, of stars, of universe. That being open, being able to do that, to love freely, to accept, and if someone doesn't want to accept any of that, then let them move on. So there has to be some kind of emotion or something like that, or shift or word or that puts it all together.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like what you're talking about is almost like curiosity, like an inner curiosity. Something within you has to drive your want or your desire to dive into your heart or your spirituality, or there's something more than just eat, work, and sleep. Go for it, Jennifer. What do you got?
Well, the word innate keeps coming to my mind. Like it's part of our innate being to be that way and to be who we are. And we get pushed down in life, or we think we're being pushed down in life because someone will not like me, or they made fun of me because I did this or whatever. And we hold those scars with us. But when you do the inner work and you kind of just learn at some point, it doesn't matter if people like me. And like what Sandy was saying earlier with the niches, like the more you are yourself, the more people will like you and want to be around you because other people like you. And it's an authentic thing. It's not like, oh, well, I'm only going to like her because she says all the right things and that I want her to say and do all these things. Like all my friends pretty much kind of know like where I stand in a lot of ways, but I do hide some things because I don't want to get in fights with people all the time about what I think and stuff. But I think the innate part of who we are just wants that connection, wants that understanding, wants that sense of being that we were born here to be, and we can't really stop it. And when we stop it, that's when we start to hurt ourselves,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I will say it was very cool. I don't experience this very often, but yesterday I was building a fence and one of the other guys, he's I think on a cement crew, stopped and asked me something, and he mentioned something about something on TV and something about a veil, and I went, it's kind of code word, And so anyways, I threw a few words out there and he kind of looked at me and and so we wound up realizing that we both knew some things. And it's in my world, at least my 3D working world, it's very extremely rare. And so what I found is that we both kind of lit up and got into a conversation for almost an hour. And I'm finally like, look, I got to get my job done, you know. But to answer the original question, I like with my family and friends that that are mostly 3D people, I put little bits of bait out there. And if people want to talk about it, I go down that road and I will open up and tell them everything and discuss everything. But until, if I go full blown spiritual on everybody, then I'm almost like an island in the current world. I'm starting to make more and more friends they're starting to come into my life, which is great. And now it's like, this is the ones I want to hang out with all the time. But at the same time, I don't feel like I want to, throw everybody else away either. So there's kind of that foot in, foot out life that I think is just what it is until a big change happens.
And it's almost like being a chameleon, right? Like fitting into to each group and knowing your audience. And I think that is important, because then you can plant little seeds, and you can't do that without overloading somebody who isn't quite ready for the whole thing. And I think you can still be authentic and still be in your sovereignty and fit in with other people. What I'm saying is when you deny yourself and you hide yourself from people who may be important in your life, like relationships or close friends who are there for you and who are going to be there. But when we're fitting into different groups, I can see how that would be. One of the things that I wanted to mention also in this was I discovered that it's almost like we're anchoring in the 3D. So if we can think of an anchor in the sand, and each time the wave comes, there's more and more sand on this anchor, and it's pulling us down, right? So I was thinking about how many people are anchored in their fears and their belief systems. How many people have that collective anchor where they don't feel free to be who they are, and it feels like they're drowning with each and every flow of something happening. I mean, when we're sovereign, we can get the anchor out pretty quickly. But when we have old stuff that's still remaining, we still have that anchor in there that creates that drowning effect, or even just the feeling of being trapped.
What you got, grumpy old man? Nothing.
It's grumpy old uncle.
Grumpy Uncle Patrick.
Grumpy Uncle Patrick's new to all of this, so I think it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So if Sandy would have come to you, Patrick, and she might have, with her full self,
be careful with that.
I'm asking because I mean, if he's new to it, I would like to know his perspective.
Well, I met Sandy in Deadwood while I was being a vendor at Holistic Healing, and I was doing Holy Fire. And she was very persistent that I worked on her. So she pushed herself in line and got.
As we do.
We know Sandy.
So as I'm doing the session on her, I felt a lot of resistance. Like she's like, I've never experienced anything like that. And I've only been doing it about a year and a half or so. And so it was really pretty exciting. And it's like, when I got done working on her, she's like, well, how much do I owe you? And I said, I just want your phone number. I want to know more.
And for all those listening to this recording, this is not what you think.
No, it's not. It's not. His wife's in the room. Really, it's totally fine.
So then we just kind of chatted back and forth, throughout the week. And we ended up meeting up again last weekend at a different holistic healing show. And that was a blast. And so, I mean, just watching her run around talking to all these people and watching the energy fly is just like real exhilarating, I guess,
Woo! But let me say this. So it wasn't the resistance of my energy on the table. I mean, there's a lot going on, as you guys know. He was just like, you're just like, what is this? What is all this? And I said, I know, right? Isn't this exciting? So,
So
anyways,
you were ready for it, even though you
I-
didn't know what it was.
yeah, I tend to troll those events and I can just find people and I like to just take wherever they are and just go like, how can we expand it and whatever. But yeah. But then I also like, we're not, we're not to get, we're just friends, but I did go on a date, right? And this guy, he was like motorcycles and he built decks and there was nothing spiritual. There was nothing. I'm like, nothing, like nothing. He's like, nope. He's like, it's all in your head. He's like, it's all imaginary. And I was like, oh, this ain't gonna work.
Not gonna work.
Thanks for the bike ride. Cheers. Peace out.
I actually had somebody who I really thought might have been on the same page because they did the same thing I did, but in a more muggle sense. And I had expressed, oh, the universe is challenging you. I was thinking he probably would understand that, right? And he tells me, please rephrase that because I don't use universe. You need to say God.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
I
happened to me
said to
before.
that, holding my sovereignty and holding who I am, I said, if you feel comfortable using God, you can interchange that word. I can use God, but I said universe. For some reason, I said the universe. And so he was really offended by that. And I was like, wow, it's like you're doing this work and I use a different word and that word offended you. And so, I mean, I don't know how universe is offensive, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't
yeah.
there.
That,
Do we have
that,
more to talk
that
about?
happened to me.
Did it, Christina? I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I think I was really excited and I was coming to work and I was a teacher, by the way. And the principal came in, I was like excited. He's like, oh, why you're so happy? I said, I don't know, but I feel like the universe is opening up like new opportunities for me. And the principal was like, oh, you mean God, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, God. And then I just move on. I'm like, okay. I was like, next time if I see that guy, I was like, don't say universe next time. But
I
it was
think
interesting. I didn't know they would be offended or something.
Yeah. But I think there's equally as many people would be offended by the word God. So I think it's fascinating, It's
Right.
And it's so funny because we have the same belief systems, right? I mean,
Yeah.
God and the universe, they are synonymous. The energy is energy. It is what it is.
Exactly.
And to take that word and go, oh, they're that type of people, instead of saying, hey, they believe in the same thing I believe in, they're just using a different word. I mean, that's what's happening even right now. We can talk about the metaphysical, but in the world, right? I mean, we can say that we want to be healthy and it means something, but to somebody else, oh, we're anti whatever, right? We're not anti anything. We're on the same page here. All of us want to be healthy. We just have different ways of going about the healthiness. And so, I find that semantics at this time and words are separating people or dividing people. And this is the whole reason we created this group, was to release the division, the dissonance, and all the energy of disease. Jules came up.
Right.
Yeah. So, what was I just gonna say? Oh, so when I'm doing sessions with people, I'll often address that. I'll say, look, I use the word source or spirit, but that also you can use God, you can use universe, you can use divine intelligence. Like if one of those words is a trigger for you, let me know and I will use it. And then people generally are like, no, that's fine. I'm like, I usually use source. That's usually the word I use. But and then there was something else I was going to say, and now I've lost it. I don't remember the other thing now.
It's almost like some people are searching for a reason to disagree with you rather than agree. And
That's
Yes,
what
thank
you-
Ashley.
And that actually brings me back to the anchor, right? Somewhere, somehow, people are feeling limited. They are feeling like they're drowning, or they're feeling trapped, or whatever they're feeling, but they're feeling something, and it's building with all of the stuff that's going on in the world. So they want to find people, one, they can find the culprit. It's them. They did that. They, whoever they is. And, or what the other thing that they do is they begin to get angry, and then they want to act out, right? I mean, the other thing is that we try and find our tribe, but not everyone goes about it in a healthy way. So maybe what we could work on, and I definitely I'm open to suggestions here, is working on moving out those anchors, moving out the sand, and kind of freeing people to be who they are, freeing people to be able to express themselves in a positive, loving way, and to come together rather than looking for differences.
Can you add to that though, as Paul said, that let's take the word curiosity to keep the flame or the light of us continuing to be authentic, continuing to learn, continuing to be ourselves, continuing to give in, to make that light bigger and brighter no matter what.
So the drive
Yeah,
to
the drive needs to be the curiosity, which is like the oxygen to keep the flame going. Because how does fire go on earth? It needs oxygen.
yeah.
So the
So-
oxygen to our life is our curiosity to keep ourselves, to keep that light burning.
So
I like
I feel like there's the curiosity and there's the drive to keep going.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the stubbornness. We as children learn a way of doing a religion or a way of living and so on, and we make a story, and that becomes how we live our life. And people that want to change that or use other words, there's God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit, and anything else like source and these other funky words blow up the story. So if we can somehow or another maybe get rid of some of the stubbornness and allow the curiosity to come in, maybe that's the part of it.
And
I
I think
agree.
if we do all of that Paul's discussing and all of us are discussing right now, that will help us to continue to be our authentic self,
Yes.
which
And-
will
and-
make it stronger in the collective of I am.
And I will challenge everybody watching and all of us as a collective to step into our authenticity, to really, truly just be who we are, be comfortable to be who we are, and, do it in a loving way, and mix in when you can mix in, but just to be yourself, to be who you are. And let's each of us this week take a step in that. I know exactly what I could do to own my authenticity. Yes, Jules.
So the word acceptance keeps coming up for me, but it's an acceptance of self. Like I am who I am, and I'm not who I'm not, and I'm perfect as I am, and I'm perfect as I'm not, and engaging with people as like looking for how are we the same, or looking for, because we know that however we do it here within this group with the intention of doing it for the collective is going to show up for others. So by us engaging with life from how are we the same, or looking for the divinity in others or something like that. Like, I'm not quite sure the phrasing of it, but looking for source showing up in others. Has it show up for us as well? And there's a, like I used to do this. I used to play these games, these transformational games where I'd be like, I'm looking for, the gold in people. I'm listening for the gold in people. And, getting coffee at the 7-Eleven was never more magical because everybody was amazing, because that's what I was looking for. So whatever we give our energy to is what we get more of. So there's something in that of like looking for, listening for how we're alike, or the divinity, and a level of acceptance for ourselves and others. And inside of that, I think we'll get ourselves in that. As
And
opposed to
you made
starting
it.
where we are.
Yeah, Jules, you made
that
a
make
huge
sense?
point. You made a huge point right now, right? And the fact is that we look instead of looking for the differences, look for how we are alike in people and how we resonate with them and the gold in them. I love that. Look for the gold in a person, rather than, let's say, oh, their hair is black or whatever, their hair is purple, like we always look for, oh, look at them, they're different from us. But I like what you just said, Jules. I think that that's important. So even instilling that when we move this anchor and we free that energy, also giving the drive, but also the freedom and the encouragement and the energy to look for the golden people.
Can we also give that inner child, it's okay if you stumble along the way and don't find them, don't stop?
Yeah. I think in every single person, no matter who they are, you can always find something that you resonate with or something that is golden in them. Everybody. I think even the homeless person who talks to himself, there's something there that we could find that would work.
Talk to myself all the time, and I'm homeless right now too, so don't be throwing.
Yeah, see, and we love you, Sandy. Okay. All right, so we got to tap in. We got to get
Yes, please.
ourselves moving.
All right, Grump, I'm one
Okay, so at least my energy's calmed down enough, I won't blow us up there. Let's go.
Woo!
Put it on your face. They don't need to see me wiggling around. They know what I'm like.
All right, so we're gonna tap our hearts and get into that energy space. Take some deep breaths. Get into the space of the infinity symbol, allowing for it to flow around us, along with this etherical crystalline energy and the liquid crystalline energy flowing around us, in us, through us, part of us. Allowing for the golden river to also flow. The divine energy. The energy of I am. The energy of healed. The energy of I am the collective. Opening up the door, the back door to the heart and the front door, and allowing the flow of the energy. Of calling in our guides, our teams, our masters. Ganesha's coming in. I can definitely feel that. Now's the time to call in your peeps. I'd like to take a look at the energy of, and this is what I'm getting from Gabriel, is take a look at the energy of the grid, the floor of the grid. And we had looked at this before, Sandy. Remember you were talking about the thing in between. But let's look at the floor of the grid and find the anchor, because there's something about the anchor. And just tell me what you see. And it could be, I mean, in a different way. It doesn't have to necessarily be an anchor looking like the ship anchor, but it could be something that is anchoring the heaviness, the energy, the anchoring people to the 3D, the lower level energies.
There is something, and it's striking me like it's a gremlin, and it's not really thing that you can understand or see. It's jumping around and it's moving, and it's just like the smoke, but it's not smoke, but it looks like smoke, and it keeps. Someone give it a with kick. It's bugging the crap out of me. Stop it.
So take back your sovereignty and tell it dissolve.
It's not me, it's somebody's inner child playing with something it shouldn't. Oh, freak, I'm moving like Sandy. Stop that. Come on, stop. Okay. Hold on,
See,
hold on,
and
hold on.
if you find fun in it,
It's
it'll
right-
go away.
Yeah, it's right there. It's around all the darkness. It's everything. It's trying to keep it. It's not, it's an anchor, but it's not an anchor. I'm sorry, it's making me hyper.
I got you.
It's okay. Hold on. It's okay. Our anchor that we were looking at that's on the bottom is composed of feelings. It's composed of people listening in the wrong direction. They need to unplug. They need to refocus, not just on love, on self, on family, on friends that are family. It's not even about religion. They've lost focus. And that's allowing this chaos like a gremlin to move. And if we can focus it and send love towards it, we can break it. And it's on the bottom. It's on the, man, this freaking, I want to kick it, I can't kick it.
No, you just dissolve it.
I need help. Help me
Yeah,
resolve
right,
this
girl.
thing,
We're
everybody.
right here with you. You got this.
As a sovereign being, you can say, I do not consent, and it cannot
Oh,
be
it's
in your
not
energy.
bother me, it's near it, and I'm kind of trying to kick it, and it's jerking me. It's like, come on, you little freaking thing.
I'm loving this, Valerie. All right,
I am a,
but
yeah, for someone who's basically a veteran in it, it's like,
Look at Sandy. She's doing you.
and
So-
yes, and on top of that is jerking, and it's not like one of the light ball or one of the balls of that I can grab and flee because it keeps like dissolving in my hands. Stupid little freaking
The
thing.
thing is that you're playing its game right now.
I
You're
know.
in its flow. Stop. Get your I know you have this because I know your own authority. You have your authority. Get that mama tone and say dissolve. You got this.
Let's little butt up.
or yeah, let me know if you want me to call in some dragons.
Call in some people because
All right, here we go.
not,
Wait, Sandy, hold on a minute. We can call in the
Okay.
dragons, but this is actually Valerie's challenge.
I hear you.
We can dissolve it and you can dissolve it.
I
This
can
is the
dissolve a
challenge.
part of it,
This
but
is
the
what the
whole thing is
universe-
gonna have to be all of us.
And people are facing this right now in the universe, right? They have these energies that are bothering them. They're being anchored.
But this is the one up in the collective.
You got this.
It's not the one I have.
I am gonna send you some love and support, Valerie, and you should.
Oh,
feel
that's,
it.
yeah, we're all doing that.
Yep. And that's the key.
To this entity,
It's-
to this.
Valerie,
to this
I'm gonna
darkness,
give
to
you a
this darkness.
story. So when there was one time I was being inundated by dark energy, so much so I couldn't even handle it. And I had this vision of the angels standing around in a circle watching me get dogpiled by all of this darkness. And they had their arms crossed and they said, so when are you gonna stand up? And
Yeah,
it
that's
was like,
basically everything in this room's doing that right now.
yeah, and they were like, come on, like we're just waiting for you, you know, like, we love you and come on, get up. Like it's not as bad as you think it is. Stand up and blow them out.
And that's exactly what I see. Like there's this giant circle around you, Valerie. It's like, and everybody's just waiting. Like all my people are like, do you want to stick them? I'm like, nope, nope.
I've told my people hold too. I'm like, okay, we got this. Just protect her, but she's fine.
Well, I know I'm not gonna get hurt. I'm
No.
just getting agitated.
Agitation and any sort of negative emotion makes them win.
I know. That's
Gotta
what
get the
I'm trying
mama
to-
tone.
And that's the whole thing with all of these little portals, these little negative energy portals opening. That's what it feels like. It feels like agitation. It feels like anger. It feels like frustration. It feels like being challenged. So speaking of anchors, so Valerie, you anchor in, rise up, stand up, and let's hear it.
It's going to be gone. It's going. It's gone. It will be light. It's going to be light. I send it love. I send it peace.
I want a mama tone, please.
Yeah.
No emotion.
I send it love. I send it peace. I send it healing.
Tell it what it needs to do with no emotion.
It's going to go away. It is going away.
If you had a child and you said you're going to go away, what would the child say?
I was not and it did that much, it would have already been away. You do not belong on this plane. You do not belong in this area. Your job is done. Make peace with what you've done and leave us all. We are finished with you. We do not recognize you. We are loved. You will be gone.
So those are all like in the future?
No, it's going now.
Okay, good, good.
Because we're facing each other and I'm telling it and I'm even showing it the door.
Now,
to leave.
with no emotion, which you're doing great, say, leave now.
Oh, it's still talking. Hold on. I'll let it have its piece. Okay. Leave now.
Oh, I
Do
felt
not come
that.
back.
When I'm clearing Dracos or Archons or whatever, I literally do my breath thing and I focus it on my heart and I say, whatever lower vibration being this is, this love is for you. And I just send them all encompassing love and they don't like that and they're going to go on their own. I'm going to just invitation to source. There's
He's
the
tail between his legs and he's gone.
woo!
Woo,
He also
you
shot
go,
a bird
girl.
at me, but that's okay. He's gone. But the
right.
anchor that is putting everybody in the sludge, he was playing around. And I could still see it very clearly.
Now ask
That's
if
all
there's-
it's inundation from everything, from media, from everything. They have not turned off, so they can't even find themselves, their love for even themselves. They're out of love with themselves, their family, their friends, their everything. And they're becoming like robotic. They're repeating only what they're told. They're not thinking anymore. They have no curiosity. They have no anything in them. They're losing their light from all of it. And we can feel the grid and we're filling it with light and it's helping some, but we got to get them to turn off. Because the happiest day, the grid, if I look in just a few days ago, Facebook was down.
Yes.
WhatsApp was down, all of that. And the vibration of the world was going up some. And I could see it was a brighter world. And then it's starting to get a little foggy and smutty and fog again. But we're still on the right track with what we pushed. But that sludge, like you said, the anchor is all of that. So we have to release that, not
Awesome.
just with light, with just like sweeping it out and getting rid of it.
Anybody else seeing the anchor as well? Thank you, Valerie. That was awesome.
Well done.
I didn't see an anchor, but what I saw in my mind's eye is that, I don't know, it's like they sent me an image of a plate and there's a whole bunch of golden cubes piling like a pyramid. And I saw this big, huge hand pointing like this on the top of the pyramid, but I don't know what that means.
Interesting.
That's the timeout symbol almost.
A what?
You know, when people do that, like for a timeout.
I don't know. It's something important, like on the top, like top of these cubes could represents people, golden people, going all the way top in the pyramid, and then there's a huge hand pointing the top.
So what's interesting is if we put some of these pieces together, that's what Jules was saying, find the golden people, find the golden
Yeah.
people. And so the image that you had was a whole bunch of tiny little cubes stacked up on each other, right?
Yes.
And the
Right.
finger pointing at the top. So it's a collective, right? It's a collective.
Yes.
It's not just one, it's all the little pieces coming together and piling up. And they're pointing at the top, saying this is your
Oh, yes.
effort, right? At least that's what I'm
Right.
feeling. Yeah.
Right.
So Paul, are there any emotions you would identify that we could release? It's the word curiosity has come up several times in this conversation as well. And curiosity is a word that's used in my journey a lot, that the only reason I've gotten so far, I got a lot of obstacles. They said it's your curiosity that is trumping your stubbornness, right? So somewhere in the back, I have all the stubbornness, but in this incarnation, in this Sandy version, if you will, it's my curiosity and my endurance to, against all odds, against all whatever weird scenario they throw at me, it's the curiosity and the endurance. But what we feel in the collective is people have lost that because they're so like deadened. They've lost their curiosity and their endurance is shot, right? And so that's a task for us to help reignite that curiosity, right? And for us not to give up, keep going, and continue to lift up and remove the blocks to pave the way for those, find the golden people and help pull them up. I really think the days of kind of saving people is a little bit in the rear view mirror, but there's still plenty of work to be done. I'm curious if the angels or whoever's helping us today, if they have any guidance. Jules, are you getting something?
Well, two things. So what you were just saying about the time of helping people, it's like the time of trying to wake people up is done. This is end game. They're either awake or they're not. And if they're still asleep, they're choosing to stay asleep.
Right.
But what I was seeing when you said anchor, and this happened in a couple of the missions with Sandy, and we've seen it here as well, is the dark kind of burning out the connection in the root chakra or either the root chakra or the like sacral chakra. And then we've also seen these attachments that kind of come up the spine. It's like a little like hooks in. And so to me, I'm like, that could be part of the anchor, right? Is like these attachments that are anchoring people to this 3D dissonance and disconnection and discrimination, like all those diss words of dissing people, right? Just dissing. And yeah, so I was seeing that, like I was seeing the anchor as an attachment, individually an attachment to people.
And the image that I'm getting is again with Michael. It's the same image I had last week. It's Ariana, who's my 90 aspect, standing there with Michael, just cutting the cords to these anchors, saying, "Let go, just let go, cut it away, let the chips fall where they may," right? And just cut the anchors away. We no longer need to be anchored and tethered to 3D. Hold on, I'm getting a no. I'm misunderstanding that. Hold on. It's cutting away the fear. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me try to tap in. If somebody can pick up on what my thought was, I took it in a different direction. I need to bring it back this way. So the sword, they're cutting something away. Yes. Okay, there's Ariana. Hold on. Let me see if I can hear what she's saying.
Tell her to stop talking to your left ear, talking your right ear.
Oh.
Don't
So-
ask me why.
So cutting, it's a cutting away. Oh, I said something, I lost it. Ariana, can you please talk to Valerie? No, she won't talk to you. Hold on.
I told her no because I don't want to talk to her.
So there.
Not me. Not tonight. No, thank you. But Jennifer, somebody's trying to talk to you. They're trying very hard. They're pulling on you.
Yeah.
They're angelic looking. I'm not sure what they are. They really want to talk to you.
All right, what are you getting, Jennifer?
Let's see.
And my team, they laugh all the time. They're like, we're not telling you, but we'll tell Patrick, we'll tell this person, we'll tell that person. So I'm just gonna hold space. Let's see what they have for you guys.
Okay. Let me go out
In the
here. 'cause
meantime, while we're trying to
it's-
get the message, I'm gonna go ahead, if we could just start clearing away some of the debris at the bottom and
Yeah.
freeing up the energy and putting in the energy. Once this is all cleared, we're gonna put in the energy of that curiosity, that drive, that openness to finding the gems in people, and just the energy of freedom.
Yeah. And that could be all that it is.
I do see a tether that is kind of stuck to the grid, and you know how when you pull on a tether, it begins to warp the bottom. And so what it feels like is there is something there, and it could be similar to the energy of the things that we've been releasing, that when you pull on it, it actually becomes worse. So when you pull on it, it's warping the bottom part of this, let's call it the matrix for the moment, for that grid energy, right? It's warping it. So it's creating ripples where ripples don't need to be.
And I think that's where they're like, cut it, don't pull on it, cut it.
Yeah, and we may need to cut it, but we need to dissolve it because it's still under the,
Yeah, either
Still
dissolve it and then seal
Yeah.
it, or it's going to explode. So,
because the more we try to yank it, the worse it's gonna get.
or it's
Yeah,
going to end up being like a cyst or a volcano and explode.
So if we can all take a few collective deep breaths and focus on dissolving. Oh. We have the Galactic Federation helping us. Okay. Not exactly sure what's happening. Can anyone see anything? Ugh.
Feels like the sand has been cleared, so now we're gonna actually work on the anchor itself.
Okay. But no pulling.
No pulling.
Nope, cutting only.
Dissolving, actually not even cutting, dissolve.
Yeah, dissolving.
We
Yeah.
send it love, we send it light, we dissolve it.
Feel that
And
it is
vacuum.
dissolving.
Yes.
Does anybody hear that echo?
The chirping,
Yeah.
yeah, I heard it.
I think those are the crickets in my backyard.
Oh, okay. That's
Hey, they're
beautiful.
helping
I
too.
love it. Yeah, I love it.
So I'm getting the message very strongly. It's from Michael saying, send it love. Be sure that you're sending it love. Dissolve it with love. Love and a sense of objective neutrality. So my team constantly reminds me to let go of ego, emotion, and expectation, which to me is like the human form, right? But as we do this work, it's there's, no expectation for anything. Get your ego out of the way and no emotion, right? Like we were talking about with Valerie earlier. Just, it simply just needs to be done. Just very matter of fact.
Anybody see the chunks of things flying up? I'm starting to see all of that coming up, like being sucked into a vacuum.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm getting like a lot of like sound healing, vibration, like song. We need to like maybe chant or sing more as a collective, raise the vibration that way.
We definitely know that the crickets are doing that for us now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the crickets are a happy sound. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mating season or something. I'm also getting really strong as like everything's a choice. Like
Yes.
make the right choices for yourself.
And don't worry about anybody else's choices. So
Mhm.
let go of any emotion, any expectation, any
Yeah,
sense of any sense of right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Just
That's a
clear-
big one. Just don't have any expectations and let go of the emotions and just be who you are. And the people that are meant to be around you will find you. And when you're weird or just being you, there's other people that find that wonderful. And those are the people that can spend all day talking with you and listening to everything and getting curious and getting involved. And the ones that are just like poo-pooing it, just send them love and let them go until maybe another time or something. But surround yourself with like those who get you and are on your tribe team. I'm also getting like, this is a tough astrological time. The transits, like it's Jupiter with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Like it's tough for people. Harsh times for shattered realities for a lot of people. People thinking things were going to happen one way and then all of a sudden things just are totally not what they expected. And we have to learn to go with the flow and trust in the universe that, let go, let God, that kind of thing where you just, you're going to be okay because you have faith. Even when it feels like the world is shattering all around you. And we have to have compassion right now. A lot of people are not going to handle the shattered realities that they go through very easily.
Valerie, what do you see with the anchor?
We just need to cut that tether, but it's going down. It's like a cyst. It's going down, down, down. So we are healing it.
We
But
can
just
dissolve the tether.
we need to do that or it will come back again. And then we'll do a seal on top and then we should be okay.
Yeah, I'm getting the word cauterized.
Yeah,
Smooth it,
cauterize is a good
cauterize.
way of doing it.
Mhm.
Who did we lose? We lost Christina.
Uh-oh.
Oh, maybe it's just my iPad, sorry. All right, Patrick, what do you sense?
I don't know how to describe it yet.
Come on, give me some words, grumpy uncle.
Give me-
Just, yeah. Just what are you seeing? It doesn't matter how crazy it is.
I don't know how to put it into words yet.
Is it an emotion? Is it a feeling?
More of a feeling, I guess.
Or is it like Picasso threw up on a painting? Or is it Monet?
No, it's not magnetic.
I'm not laughing at you. My other aspect, she's being funny tonight. She doesn't normally use humor, so this is interesting. She's literally standing there next to Michael with like a blowtorch and a face mask on. She's like, just torch it, just burn it. She's like, burn it, burn it, burn it.
That would be cauterizing. it,
That
but
is cauterized.
Yeah, that wouldn't be dissolving it though.
Yeah, and she's saying, she's shouting at me. She's saying, fire it up. All right, Ariana, fire it up. Let's go.
That sand that Sandy said that we're moving, it's like, I don't know if any of you have ever watched Dr. Pimple or anything like that. When she gets a big, huge cyst and she has to be very careful about how she goes to push on it. And all this literally like that comes out. And then a lot of sand and sludge and stuff of all that dead skin, all the dead stuff. This is the dead, just emotions and everything that have built this up. So when we dissolve it and move that sand out, we have to be careful to make sure it is clean, because whatever we cauterize or burn or torch it on that top, if we leave anything or even that tether, we leave the opportunity for it to come back and scarred over to be stronger, and it takes us longer to get rid of it.
All right, I'm gonna call in some dragons. Stella, can we call in the dragons, please, to help us burn this away and cauterize the top part?
Christina, being that you are at the mother of the part of all of Earth there in Hawaii, of the controlling of the oceans, the waters, the underneath, the currents and everything, the closest to the earth. Can you help to move everything smoothly around, to just ask for it?
I believe we've lost Christina.
Oh boy. Hey, Paul, jump in.
Hey, you know
Anybody?
what's coming to mind? I've been releasing emotions attached to this anchor, but what also is coming to mind is the first time I went to see a psychic about 5 years ago, and she told me that most people go up and hit a ceiling, but she told me that I went right through it. And I wonder, there's an anchor below, but is there a ceiling above? I don't know if it's mental or whatever that we can remove for the collective that allows them to rise either mentally or emotionally or so on. Does that make sense to anybody
Oh,
else?
100%. It's that glass ceiling that people talk about in business. But yeah, we've got it in life also. It's
And
where we
even-
think we can't go any further.
And even revealing or allowing for people to see the truth that the ceiling doesn't exist. Allowing for them to realize that veil, that whatever it is that we perceive as a limitation isn't actually there.
So what's on the other end of the tether? Where is it attached on the top? And can we dissolve it at that point as well? Oh.
I'm seeing the aliens going in and they're detaching it. Like mechanically taking it off. Like little busy worker bees.
Can't say what I'm seeing right now. That's not bad. That's not good. It's not a bad thing. Okay, one of them's kind of hot looking. Don't ask.
You are killing me tonight. Sorry.
Because especially when he bent over and he's doing that, oh my God, he's got a heavenly.
Oh my God.
All right, Patrick's gonna speak. He has words.
Okay, I'm kind of going backwards on this, I think, but this is what I'm seeing. So you're trying to get rid of the anchor by either cauterizing it or
Dissolving.
dissolving it. Now, we're talking about hitting the ceiling or whatever here. So what if the object that is anchoring you down, and what I'm seeing here is anchoring you down because you're leaving it behind? What if it needs to come to you to lighten your load? Does that make sense?
So how does it come to you? How do you do that?
Well, a boat lifts an anchor to itself.
Feel that the anchor needs to be reeled in.
Yeah, that's what Paul just said. The anchor goes onto the boat.
So the boat can't be released unless the anchor is lifted. So what if you got something there that's anchoring you down because it's supposed to be with you, but you're refusing to allow it to come back in?
Which is the acceptance.
It's the dancing with your shadow side.
So now my area, she's in full form. So she's doing a little dance for us. She's all right. She's like, okay, so heave ho. So if everybody gets underneath it. So that's what I want to know. What's at the top of the tether, right? Can we imagine a boat to put the anchor into the boat, or is there something else there? What is it that's there? Do we need to dismantle it, or can we simply put it into the boat? Can we send it back to source? What can we do with the anchor instead of?
I would suggest we dissolve and let the vacuum suck it up. Because when you pull it, if we push or pull on it, it's gonna get worse. So we
Okay.
dissolve it, let it be sucked up to the vacuum, which is source.
Who's doing the sucking? The interdimensional beings that are helping us?
The vacuum is doing it. The source.
Hey, it's them, not us. Yep.
Yeah.
They've got a bigger suck than we do.
So now Ariana's was like, so what are we doing here? Are we cauterizing? Are we dissolving? Are we?
Dissolve it.
All right.
Dissolve, return to sender, or return to source.
So we did this in one of the missions a couple months ago with the Maldekian core. The Maldekians, their planet was destroyed. All of their energy was put into a ball, and the ball was tucked into the earth. And we literally had to find it, pull it up, and then the Galactic Federation literally towed it away.
Nice.
I see it going up. I don't know if you guys, it's going, it's leaving.
Okay.
I see
So
it
what we're doing
floating.
is dissolving the tether to us to allow it to be released and sucked or pulled away,
Yeah.
however you imagine it. Michael's just laughing. He's like, they'll get there. They'll get there.
Mine is already detached from everything. It's just floating. Like, where am I going?
Okay, so allow it to be sucked up into the
Yes.
vacuum, turn to source. And again, with the acceptance, love, compassion, non-judgment, no emotion, no expectation, no ego.
All right, it went up. It just got sucked in there.
Now, based on what Paul said, can we dissolve the box that we put all of ourselves in? Since we got rid of the base that was holding us down, let's dissolve the whole box, not only the ceiling, but the walls.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just felt a huge shift when you said that. Like, I didn't envision a box.
If you think of an anchor, you think of a ceiling, then you're in a box. It's of our own imagination of what we've believed that we've been told. Just release it with love.
That feels good.
Freedom.
Yeah.
So the words that I'm getting is that it's like people can't believe that it's that simple. Like what I'm seeing is, could it be, is it that simple? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of this is, just my date
It
says
is.
head, right? It's all in our head.
If you notice, there's barely any like fog or anything on the floor. It's turning that white going towards gold, like at the stratosphere, like you're standing there and watching the sunrise.
Feels like it's just about gone.
Oh. My Ariana aspect rarely uses humor, and she is in full form tonight. She's like, all right, I'm gonna go get my dust buster. I'll be right back.
Get those
She's
crumbs.
funny. Like she's like hardcore galactic warrior. She's like, Michael, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my dust buster.
What is everybody seeing?
What do you see? What do you see? If you're gonna sit next to me, you gotta do stuff.
I'm doing
I
stuff.
would say that I'm feeling a little bit lighter.
I am too, definitely.
I'm seeing something pretty cool.
What you
I'm
got?
seeing the grid twisting into the infinity
Oh, nice.
symbol. Like that.
So let's infuse it with the crystalline energy, the liquid crystal, the golden river, and the divine energy. And then also the energy of healed, the I am, the drive and the curiosity to create and to be free and to be the best person you can be. The curiosity and the search for the golden nuggets in people.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of gold.
Can you feel that?
I'm also seeing like cupids and like little fairies with horns.
Can you feel the crystal within you now? Can you feel it? Okay, hold on.
I'm seeing like the game Chutes and Ladders. Like going down slides.
Feels like it's completing to me. What's everybody feeling?
Good, really good.
Yeah. I think we can say we're complete for today, unless you guys feel that there's more work that needs to be done. Good. So let's go ahead and thank our guides. We're getting faster and faster at this, which is pretty awesome. Thank everybody for being here, taking the time out of your Thursday, because we know that days and nights are precious to us. So thank you for taking the time to be here with us. And for those watching at home or watching this later on, we thank you for taking the time to add to the energy. And all of the work that we do, we actually extend it out into the collective. And for those that are doing similar work, we offer the energy that we've done to complement and supplement their work that they're doing. We stand together as a collective. While remaining in our sovereignty. So I challenge everybody this week to stand in your I am, to own who your I am, to do something that lets you stand in who you are.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna jump in. I personally, that word challenge, I don't like, so I invite you all to initiate looking for the golden people, looking for how we're alike, looking for connectedness, looking for how we're connected, looking for the divinity in others as a reflection of yourself. It's an invitation into expansion.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And we will
Work,
be
everybody.
back Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Look forward to
Yay.
it.
Our interdimensional. Woo!
Good love to everybody. We'll
Love
see
you
you soon.
guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.